baseball here. So that's a short history. (1882), Philadelphia Athletics. Any questions about that? I don't think so. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Correct pronunciation. Reason or reason. R-E-S-O-N and R-E-S-U-L-T.
R-E-A.
S-O-N.
S-O-N. Reason.
Reason and R-E-S-U-L-T.
S-O-R-T?
S-U-L-T.
Oh, result.
Yep.
Oh.
Reason.
Result.
The last one, result. R-E-S-L-O-V-E.
So almost it's like there's no A in a way. Reason. 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 What is the reason for you going to San Francisco? I am going to San Francisco to find a job, to take a job. That's the reason I'm going to San Francisco. What is causing you to go to San Francisco? What is the reason you're going to San Francisco? To get a job. Result. 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 Z-z-zult. Result. What was the result of your trip to San Francisco? What was the ending thing that happened when you went to San Francisco? Oh, I got a job. The result of my trip was I was employed by a company. I got a job. That was the result of my trip. Reason, the cause for something. What is your reason for doing that? Oh, well, I have to go to the airport, so the reason, why did you call a taxi cab? What was the reason you called a taxi cab? Oh, I have to go to the airport. That's the reason I called the taxi. I had to go to the airport.
It's like the same meaning, listen and result.
Oh, no. They're not the same meaning. Not the same meaning. Reason, result. The pronunciation is not close either. Reason, result. Ult. The reason I am going is so that I can borrow a book from the library. Why are you going to the library? The reason I am going to the library is to borrow a book. Whatever you're doing, there is normally a reason, something that is causing you to do it. I want to get a book on the history of Asia. So where can I get one? At the library. Why are you going to the library? To get a book. The reason I'm going to the library is to get a book on the history of Asia. And what happened after you went to the library? Well, the result of my trip to the library was I was able to borrow a book on Asia. I was able to borrow. That was the result of my trip. How did your trip to the library result? How did it end? It ended by me borrowing a book on Asia. Result. Reason, result. Any questions about that? Any reasons for a question? No reason? Okay.
Yes. Have one word. Resolve. R-E-S-O-L-V-E. Resolve.
R-E-S-O-L-B-E.
V. V-E. Resolve. V-E.
Resolve.
Or
Resolve. We
Resolve.
have to resolve the matter. We have to resolve it. We have to come to an answer. We have to get a solution to the problem. We have to resolve the situation. People are coming in at 9 o'clock, and some people are coming in at 9:30, and the bus leaves at 9:15. So the people that come in at 9 o'clock can get on the bus, but the people that come at 9:30, too late. So we have to find a way to solve the problem so that everybody gets on the bus. We have to resolve this situation. We have to come to an answer and resolve the situation. So if the people come at 9 o'clock, the bus leaves at 9:15, and other people come at 9:30, we'll have the bus leave at 9:45. That will resolve the situation. Everybody will be able to get on the bus. The 9 o'clock arrivals and the 9:30 arrivals now can all get on the bus because the bus is not leaving until 9:45. We have resolved the problem.
Resolve the
The
problem.
answer to the problem. We've figured out what to do. We resolved it.
Resolve.
Oh, good. We were able to resolve the transportation matter by having the bus come 30 minutes later, so that everybody could then get on the bus and go on the trip. We resolved it. How did you resolve it? Oh, very easy. Have the bus leave at 9:45 instead of 9:15, no problem. That's how we resolved it.
Fix.
And the reason we had to resolve it was because some people were missing the bus. That was the reason. If nobody was missing the bus, there'd be no reason to solve it. We had to resolve it because the reason was people were missing the bus. So what was the result of everything? Oh, the result was everybody was happy.
Oh.
They all made the bus. That was the result.
Resolve.
Everybody was so grateful and thankful. Oh, way to figure it out. You really figured it out. Now we can all go on the tour. Instead of half of us just standing there watching the bus leave. Any questions? Result, reason, resolve. Always to be.
Resolve.
Not revolve, resolve. Get the idea? Everybody get the idea? Any questions about resolve, reason, or result? Okay. Very good. Oh, this is- There was a headline here, just see. Court jails 7 for 21 years each over Yalla arson. What is arson?
You mean the headline?
The headline,
Jail 7?
court jails 7 people for 21 years each over Yalla arson. What is arson? Why would somebody get 21 years, 21 years for arson? What is arson? Anybody? Obviously, it's a crime. people are being sent to jail for arson. 21 years. Yikes. That's not like getting a traffic ticket. 21 years. Ooh. Arson is a criminal act. Criminal act. There's laws that say you can't do this. You can't commit arson. Arson is setting fires. Setting fires to cause damage or destruction for some reason. Suppose that you were in the business, you were a carpenter working with wood, and you were working on the construction of houses in Bangkok, building houses. And one day, the manager of the construction company says, "You're fired. You're fired. You have to go." Very angry. So that night, the carpenter comes back to the site of the building where the construction is going up. And I'll show them. They fired me. Watch this. Goes away. Fire company comes, puts out the fire. After an hour or so, place destroyed. Arson. Setting fires to destroy something. Arson. Criminal offense. You can be obviously arrested, charged, and tried for arson and get 21 years in prison. Arson. So there are many different things you can do. Arson is one of them as a crime. Just so you know that. Any questions about setting fires? Arson? Setting fire. And one other headline I wanted to bring up, which I thought was quite interesting. Rome allows migrants on ship to deboard. Rome allows migrants on ships to deboard. That was a very unusual word, deboard. I wasn't sure why they used that, but then I think I figured it out. Because when you get on a ship, allows migrants on ship to deboard. When you get on a ship, you embark. They embarked on the ship. In fact, up here in the little part it says, migrants walk to board vans after disembarking. To disembark is to get off the ship. First, when you went, you embarked, and then when you reached your destination, you disembarked. You can disembark from an airplane. We disembarked at Bangkok. Or the plane. I've never heard deboard before, until I saw it in the paper. And then I figured out the reason they made up this word deboard, get off, is because they were running out of space. They could only go here. They had another story here from up here. So they had to come up with a shorter way to say disembark. And they came up with deboard. Migrant. What is a migrant? allows migrants on the ship to get off, to deboard. A migrant.
Migrant is same refugee.
That's what?
Refugee.
Not necessarily a refugee. A migrant is a person that moves from one place to another.
Yeah, to another, yeah.
You can migrate from Chiang Mai to Bangkok, or from the suburbs to the city. The family migrated from the suburbs to central Bangkok. Migrated, they moved. But it takes on different meaning a bit when you add a little bit to it. Migrant becomes immigrant. Immigrant is a person coming into a country, coming into Thailand, let's say, from Indonesia. They have immigrated from Indonesia. They are entering Thailand to live in Thailand. They are immigrants. The immigrant have moved in, you can put an S on it too, immigrant one, immigrants many. The immigrants are now living in Chiang Mai. They've come from Indonesia and immigrated from Indonesia. Little bit of a difference. Immigrant. Immigrant. Or sometimes it's used, the French term, émigré. An immigrant is coming into the country from some other country. An emigrant is leaving the country that you're in to go to another country. And suppose that you had some neighbors for a few years, and all of a sudden they said, oh, we're leaving. We're leaving Bangkok. They're Thai, and they're leaving. What? Oh, yes. We are emigrating to Australia. Or we are emigrating to the United States. They are leaving the place that they're in, that you're in and they're in, and going someplace else. And when they come to America, they become not immigrants anymore because they're not leaving America, they're entering America. They have emigrated from Thailand and are immigrating to the United States. You get the idea?
So immigrants and migrants are mean the person, the same meaning the person.
Well, they're people. A migrant can be somebody that moves anywhere, any which way.
They are all legally or.
Oh yeah, legal. Oh well, you can be an illegal immigrant. You can sneak in across the border, nobody looking at night. All of a sudden, you're an illegal immigrant. You didn't go through the immigration station. You just.
Immigration.
Yeah, when you come to the airport.
Immigration.
In another country, from another country, you have to go through immigration. Thai citizens, foreign passport holders, diplomats. It all depends on what your status is. Thai citizen just kind of walks up, Thai citizen, show that they can go through. An immigrant, a foreign immigrant has to show a passport, maybe a visa, whatever. Immigrant. Go through immigration. Illegally immigrate is to immigrate against the law. We have a lot of illegal immigration in America where they are coming across the border at night in like Mexico into Texas or Arizona, just kind of sneak across. Emigrant, somebody leaving here to go there. Immigrant, somebody coming from there to here. Any questions about that? Immigrant, emigrant, illegal immigrant, disembark. Get off the ship, embark, get on the ship. Deplane. We will deplane in 5 minutes. We will get off the plane in 5 minutes. Or we will disembark from the plane in 5 minutes. So these are words that will come up from time to time, depending on your situation. If you're involved at a desk at the airport, immigration may be an issue. Assistance. Where can I go for the immigration desk? Where can I go? So words like that that come up from time to time. Immigration, emigrant, emigre, illegal immigrant. Rome allows migrants on ship to board. The reason that's a big deal, headline, is because Rome never let migrants get off the ship until this time.
Where's the migrants come from?
Africa.
Oh,
One of the big problems in the Mediterranean Sea is migrants from Africa. Many people, maybe 30 or 40 people in a small boat
Yeah.
meant to carry maybe 10 or 12 sitting in the boats, and they try to go from North Africa across the Mediterranean to Italy or any country that they can get to. Spain, Italy, whatever, any place. Albania, no matter. And so a lot of times they'll go out and halfway across, boom, a storm or something comes up. And a lot of times the ship overturns and they lose, maybe of the crowd of 35, maybe 30 people drown. So what they've decided, some people have decided to do is send mercy ships sailing the Mediterranean, looking for the crowds in the small boats, taking them out of the small boats and putting them in the bigger ship, and then taking them safely to Italy, Spain, whatever country they can get this close. And historically, for the last number of years, Rome, when the ship came to Rome, no, sorry, you can't come off. Well, that was one government. New government in Italy. And they say, okay, Rome allows migrants on ship to come off, where they never did that before. All of a sudden, nice guys, where they weren't so nice a little bit ago. So that's why it made a headline. They allow the migrants, the people traveling from one place to another on the ship, to get off in Rome. They never allowed that before. Any questions about that? Yeah.
Migration always are many people. What bring you here? What bring you here?
Why?
Yeah.
Are they leaving Africa or any place?
Any given, especially Singapore.
Going to Singapore?
Yeah. What bring you here?
Well, in most cases, it's poverty. What is poverty? Poverty. No money. Poor.
Poor.
Very poor people, suffering in whatever condition exists in certain countries. A lot of people in Central America. In Central America, you have the United States, Florida, Mexico, and then Central America before South America. A lot of people in here are suffering. Poor government, very poor economy, a real disaster. And so they are trying to work their way up to the United States. And that's what's driving them. The poverty, they're looking for a better life. So people from North Africa, the same way in some of the African countries, the poverty is unbelievable. So they'll do anything they can to get out of there and get across the Mediterranean and into Italy or Spain or France or someplace where they can get a job and get a new life. That's what's driving most people, either from Central America or from Africa, North Africa. That's what's driving it. Some will do it legally. Legally immigrate. Do what they have to do legally to enter. Others, illegal. Come creeping in at night, try to get in, and then try to stay away from the authorities. They try to do it illegally. But poverty is what drives most of the migrants. And you find the people on the boats, and that's why they have the rescue ships out there to save them from drowning, trying to get to Europe, European countries. Immigrants, immigration, poverty, immigrant, emigre, illegal immigrant. Disembark, get off the boat. Embark, get on the boat. Any questions about that?
This and last again, please. This and back again, please.
The ship arrives at the port and docks at the pier. And the passengers then disembark out into the country. Disembark. And then maybe they're tourists, so they're there for 3 or 4 days. They have disembarked on a Monday, and then on Thursday, they embark back on the ship to travel to the next country. Disembark. Disembark. And then embark. When you're getting on the ship, you embark. Disembark, off.
So, immigrate, what is the meaning? Immigrate. No.
It's the same meaning as immigrant, but it's French. And often, in general usage, people will use the French term, émigré, as another way to say immigrant. Immigrant, émigré. Same word, meaning somebody leaving, for example, leaving Thailand to go to America. They are emigrating. But when they get to America, they are immigrating. So that they can say, oh, you see the immigrants from Thailand? Where are they? Oh, there they are. They just arrived. They're immigrating. And if you're over in Thailand and you say, where are Mr. and Mrs. Johnson? Oh, they've emigrated from Thailand to America. Emigrated.